Helstien. I served on the Residents Association for about 12 years, 15 years. I was the secretary for at least 4 to 6 terms. I can't even remember, it was so long. Anyway, the reason that I'm speaking, I wasn't planning to, is that the Residents Association and a small subcommittee of that organization put together 4 separate elections for the RIOC board members when we weren't given permission. We were asked to do it by Steve Shane and the head of the DHCR at the time. Thank you very much, David. We were asked if we wanted to put together an election for the RIOC boards, and we did. We have held 4 separate elections, which were the elections that put Margie, Catherine Grimm, Michael Shimazaki, Howard Pallavi, and Faye Christian on this board. Sitting here today, listening to this vote, this person who has been brought in without so much as a how do you do for the RIOC president is extremely dismaying. I was happy. I want to tell Michael and Margie and Catherine, thank you for abstaining. The residents in this community voted for you to stay on, to come to this board, to be a part of this board as part of our community, to stand up for the community. This was a test today. The governor has not sent anybody to take this seat in the CEO's office for how many months? 6 months? The moment they heard that you were going to do your own independent interviewing, they sent somebody. I'm ashamed, Howard and Faye, that you did not stand with your fellow, and David is not elected. David has refused to run for this. He's refused to participate in the democratic process that we put together. Howard and Faye have, however, and I'm really disappointed that you did not stand with your fellow elected resident members. This was a test for all of you, and this is a test to find out whether the governor is paying attention. Apparently he's paying attention because he sent somebody who none of you know, who none of us know, and they have not allowed you to go through with the process that you had planned and that you had made clear you were going to do. You have voted lockstep with the governor. I don't expect David to do any otherwise, because he has always voted pretty much lockstep with the governor, particularly when it comes to that particular job. But you were put here by the residents to stand up for the residents and for this process. And by not doing so, by pleading that the office needed that leadership, we understand that. The community sees what's going on at RIOC. They know. I've heard from people on the street. But you should have stood your ground and at least abstained, at the very least. I'm ashamed of you, and I'm ashamed that you did this, and that you didn't stand with your fellow elected resident board members. That's all. Thank you.
On that note, I also want folks to understand that the new president, we're going to work with her. The challenge is that she seems eminently qualified for this spot by her resume.
It doesn't matter.
I understand that. That's why I objected to the process.
You have nothing to lose. You're not salaried employees. If
Yes.
you lose your jobs, it tells
Sherrie,
everybody in this community what the
Sherrie.
governor thinks
Okay.
of this
That's
community.
why I objected. I stayed because I objected to this process. But I don't want the community to hold that against her, because she's got a big job to do. You should hold the board. We should hold the board accountable for the vote.
Yes.
But I don't want to see that neither Margie and I objected to her based on her qualifications.
I understand that.
Now speaking to Margie, but objected to the process.
I understand that. My concern is that none of you have anything to lose. You're not salaried. You're not salaried employees.
One second, Sherrie, you're absolutely wrong.
You're not salaried. If you lose your seats, it tells this community what the governor thinks of an elected RIOC board. And that's what we all need to see him say out loud and visibly to this community. And by doing what you did today, you have let him go. We now see what your strength is.
If you think that all we do is make a decision on the moment for the governor in favor of what the governor said all the time, and that's our only function, then I could resign right now. It's not important. We do a lot more than that. And wait, I'm talking, and you need to be quiet. Now, I indicated before how hard it was a decision. Things are happening, the clock is moving, Cornell is coming. In my opinion, in my judgment, the corporation was better served by a positive vote now to get this process started, to get someone in place to help us in our time of need now, as opposed to wait for a process that could take a month, 2 months, 3 months, and then still depends on the governor's office, the second floor, to make a decision that our candidate, whoever it might be, ultimately is acceptable. Well, the process was worked backwards.
We have an acting president. You have one.
That's right, and I thought that we could use more help.